Hello and welcome to this introduction. This is the first episode in a new video series that will highlight the main changes between the second and the third edition of the Ninth Age. My name is Eric, but you may know me as Fugin, the lead game designer of the third edition. In this introduction, I want to look at the first two sections of the rulebook. This series will go through the most important changes, not all the minute details. However, my goal is that after watching this series, you will be able to play your first 3rd edition game. First and foremost, the 3rd edition of the Ninth Age is still fundamentally the same game as the 2nd edition. It's a fantasy tabletop wargame that we call the Ninth Age. It involves large armies clashing on the battlefield. The battlefields are of similar size and with terrain features placed on top. Models are moved in unit formation or as single models where applicable. They cast magic, they shoot, they fight in combat. Let's take a look at the structure of the new rulebook, which will be divided into 5 different documents. First, we have the core rulebook. In addition to the rules, this document will now also include background lore, artwork and miniature photos, making it more immersive. Anyone reading this book should both understand how to play the game and the setting the game takes place in. There are 4 appendices. Appendix 1 is the common model rules. Appendix 2 is the arcane compendium, which remains the same as in 2nd edition. Appendix 3 is a new addition, the seasons pack. It will be updated each year and it will include rules for maps with terrain placement, primary and secondary objectives, deployment types and a few additional things on top such as character-specific upgrades, unique terrain and so on. The Seasons Pack will offer a fresh take on the core game each season, tied to a specific background setting. For example, Season 1 will be set in the Broken Isles, a region of many islands with a rich history of ancient civilizations coming and going. Finally, we have Appendix 4, the reference manual. This compiles the core rulebook together with Appendix 1 and 2 into one document. On top of this, it will also include additional details on specific interactions between rules. It's the go-to document for resolving very specific rules questions. Now let's talk about the flow of the game. The game is still played in a turn-based format. You start with battle preparations where you build your army, the battlefield, choose deployment and objectives, and then deploy your army. After this, the player takes turns. Each turn is divided into 6 phases: charge, movement, magic, shooting, the new rally phase, and then finally the melee phase. After these 6 phases, the opponent takes their turn, and after 6 game turns, the game ends and you calculate battle points to determine the winner. That's all for this introductory video. Thank you for listening and watching. I hope to see you next time as we go through the changes to battle preparations.